Good morning. Yes, okay, I'm live. I gotta get used to it in this way now. I think I'm gonna turn on the light because it looks a bit dark in here. I don't know. I don't know what I'm still trying to work it out, y'all. Still trying to work it out. Looks a bit dark in here. Y'all, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning outside. It's super dark right now. So hopefully I could get this live stream going. Okay, so last week I was totally unprepared for the beginning of the live stream. So I apologize if y'all saw me trying to like put up the screen and stuff. It's like so weird. I don't know, like, I don't know. Starting the live is always weird to me because sometimes I don't be knowing if I'm live or not for real, for real. So just bear with me. And I finally got it in the I think it's landscape. Yeah, landscape angle, not the what was it? Vertical, horizontal, vertical. Not the vertical way, the horizontal way. Yeah. So I like it. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am going to wait for others to join, and then I'm just gonna start my topic. I think y'all can see a lot of stuff in the background, so let me go move that little pink book bag. I don't want it there. And I think I gotta turn on my light because it looks a bit dark in here. So I don't know, we'll see. It looks too dark in here because it's like literally 7 o'clock in the morning right now in Victoria. So I'm gonna go turn on the light. I'll be right back. What time is it by you? It is 7. Welcome, friend. Welcome. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. The only thing is I don't like the lighting in my house. I feel like it kind of fades me out. But I'm gonna try it. So let me just turn on one light and see what happens. So I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm coming right back. Okay, let me see if it looks better like this. Okay, this doesn't look too bad. I think this looks okay. All right, yeah. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. Welcome. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday for my American folks. How is your Thanksgiving? I hope your Thanksgiving went well. I know y'all probably see my topic today. Topic's very interesting. Yeah, so I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It was fun. Okay. It was fun. I'm happy about that. I know that I messaged, so I still have family in the States, and some of them, like, they was grubbing, and then they FaceTiming me. My brother-in-law FaceTiming me, like, oh, look at all the food we eating. Look at everything. And I'm just like, man, I'm so jealous a little bit. But, we had our Canadian Thanksgiving, but Canadian Thanksgiving just don't hit. It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same. I'll give you guys that much. I think American Thanksgiving is definitely top tier compared to Canadian Thanksgiving. Though now my Canadian folks don't come in get me in the comments. But I will say that American Thanksgiving is definitely top tier because okay, only thing is we do waste a lot of food. Like, I think the food wastage is a lot. However, people do save it for leftovers. So you got your you got your main meal. I think Plies broke it down for us. You eat it after one day, but you can't eat it for more than a week. But some people do that. It is what it is. But I do find that turkey meat does dry up really quickly. So there's that. But anyway, basically Thanksgiving is a nice time. It's a nice time for people. I feel like it's a good time, especially when you just want to relax. If you have good family members, then it's an awesome time. If you have awful family members, I feel so sorry for you for having to endure that. But yeah, this week is definitely hitting. Like, I think we're 3 weeks out from Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like whenever American Thanksgiving passes and it's Black Friday, it's like game time, because then I know that's when it's time for Christmas. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for a few more people to join, and then I'm just gonna talk with y'all. This live stream might be a little shorter than usual because I have a few things to take care of today, but hopefully it'll be better. I don't know, my lighting's kind of weird. I hope that the sun rises while I'm talking. I really, really hope that that happens because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's so dark right now. Like usually, okay, so ever since daylight savings time, let me tell y'all. Ever since daylight savings time, which is normal, you know, it usually gets darker faster. However, I have found on the West Coast, it's darker than on the East Coast. And my friend corroborated this story because I had a friend come in from the East Coast yesterday. I spent some time with her and she's like, yo, it's mad dark outside. It's only 4 o'clock. I was like, yeah. Because at least on the East Coast, you see a little bit of sun and then it like kind of dies down around 5. Here it gets pitch dark at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So it feels like it's like 7 o'clock at night sometimes. It's like, it'll be 7 o'clock at night and it's like, literally it feels like it's 10 o'clock. Or it'll be 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it literally feels like it's 7 o'clock. So I have to get used to that because right now, like it's literally 7 o'clock. Usually 7 o'clock, the sun rises a little bit. Nope, not in Victoria. That sun ain't gonna rise for a minute. So probably by 8 o'clock, that's when you guys will see the sun rising, which is kind of crazy, right? When you think about it. So yeah, it is something to get used to. I'm still getting used to it, but you know, such is life. Sometimes you have to give and take, right? With how you feel, like as far as like weather and stuff. Like of course I live in a beautiful city, so I love the fact that I'm close to beaches and mountains and I have like access to so many different like outdoorsy activities. However, around the winter it sucks here. It's very depressing because it rains a lot. It's like the UK, it rains a lot and it's always dark, so gotta stock up on that vitamin D3 to get yourselves in shape, like health wise. If you're on the West Coast, I would highly recommend it because it is a bit, you know, it's a time for seasonal depression to come in, kick in and stuff. So yeah, I think we have enough people right now, so I'm gonna get started on the topic because I don't want to take up too much time. Y'all know my lives be like 3-4 hours. I'm just kidding. My lives be like 2 hours, but sometimes like I talk over and then I want to like wrap things up, but then there's so much more to say. So then I end up like overextending my lives. Phyllis said, good evening. You look very pretty this evening. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Phyllis. It ain't evening here. It's morning. It is, hold on, I'm going to tell you the exact time. It is 7:10 in the morning. Y'all, it is early. The sun just hasn't risen yet. It's coming. I can see the outline right now. So it is not evening. I wish it were because it would make my life easier, but no, it's morning time. I had to wake up extra early for you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know I'm not a morning person, period. Like I'm definitely not a morning person, but I love coming on live. I love talking to you guys. I love this is like the highlight of my week. This is insane, right? Like being on live is the highlight of my week. Like seriously. What is 16 in Sweden? Yeah, it's 4 o'clock where you at, right? No, this is 7 o'clock in Victoria, Canada, on the West Coast. Yeah, like I think in the East Coast, it is 10 o'clock. Yeah, so oh my God, I'm late. No, girl, I just started. Don't worry, I just started. I didn't put my normal thumbnail the night before because now I realize I'm just gonna come on at the same time. So in the morning works for me on Saturdays. You'll expect a live on Saturdays at some time. Hey, Romy. Little Mama says, hey, Romy, you always make my Saturdays better watching your lives. Thank you. That really, really, really warms my heart because thank you, Little Mama, for that, by the way. By the way, love your hair. Okay, we're going to get on that topic before I get on this topic. But I literally, like I was just saying, I don't know if you missed this part of what I was just saying. The lives literally, like, I love it. I'm one of those people, like, it's hard to get me to stay consistent, especially with something that I'm not passionate about. I'm driven by energy and passion. Those are two things that I get driven by. If I have no passion for it and I have no energy for it, chances are it's going to dwindle off, right? So it's something that I don't really want to do. But I love these lives because I feel like I can be myself, like my real authentic self with no filter, no bounds, no boundaries. Like I can just talk to y'all. And I love the fact that I have this outlet because y'all, I need it. I'm gonna get to the topic soon. But for now, I'm just doing a little talky just a little bit. Yeah, so for me, you said love my hair. Thank you. I will tell you this. It took me a long time to love my hair. Like the way that it grows, the way that it comes out of my head. And the reason for that, I never wear my hair out. Like y'all always see me in a bun or my hair back. And it's for a reason. It's not because I'm ashamed of my natural hair. Like I've had natural hair for years. But the thing with my hair I'm learning is that I self-sabotage myself. I'm telling y'all right now. Like every time my hair grows, every time okay, let's start back in the day. I big chopped when that whole natural hair wave came out, and on YouTube I used to watch YouTube videos. That's the funniest thing. I used to love watching YouTube videos like around circa like 2009, 2010. That was my thing. When YouTube first came out, I was on it. So I used to just do different hairstyles. Everybody was doing the big chop. So I did the big chop too, and I cut all my hair off. And I remember I was like literally like Caesar cut. Like, I mean, not Caesar, but it was very short. It was like literally like it looked like a little boy, pretty much. So I cut my hair short, and then ever since then I've been natural. However, you know, for me, it's just been the hardest thing because I don't know, for me, like personally speaking, it's been hard to maintain my hair because I never knew my hair. Like all those YouTube videos, let me tell y'all something. Hold on. I feel like I can't see the comments. I could see them, but they're disappearing. So just bear with me, y'all. I want to make sure I see all the comments. So hold on a second. What is this? Okay, this is highlights. Okay, I don't care about that. I want to see the comments. I want to see all your comments. So just okay, there we go. All messages are visible. Good, because I need to see like what y'all saying because it's disappearing. See, this technical issues. But anyway, yeah, so the natural hair community, like I had joined it in 2009, 2010 when it like researched, right? And then what I noticed is when I had relaxers in my hair just never grew. Like it was just always like thin and stringy. And I think it's because I have that type of hair where you can't put chemicals on it. Like I noticed like it's anywhere in my body. Anytime I put any perms or even wax or anything like that, it has to be a specific wax or else I'm gonna like break out in hives. Like my skin is very sensitive, and scalp also has skin too and stuff. So I realized that, okay, I can't wear relaxers. So I started going natural. Now the thing is that I noticed with the natural hair community, I used to think, y'all, when I tell y'all I was a product junkie, I used to buy products like crazy, like buy like Carol's Daughter and all these things, like so many products. And I realized that they don't really work for me like that. And I was over saturating my hair with protein, you know, when the protein treatments came out. And then I did everything under the sun. Y'all, I put rice water. I put what's the other one? Rainwater. They done made me do a whole bunch of nonsense. Relaxers. Oh, Phyllis said relaxers literally be causing some skin cancer. Yes, I didn't know that. So mind you, I got a relaxer when I was like 9 years old, and it's so crazy because my mom is natural. My mom's been natural all my life. She actually did the big chop before the big chop ever existed. Like she did her big chop in 1990, back when it wasn't even a thing, and she just decided to be natural because she had the same issue as me. Like, but her is the opposite. Her hair was actually long relaxed, but her hair just started falling off after a while, and I think it's just sensitive skin, right? And you know, like you just said, skin cancers and all those different things. Oh, hello, mama said, go mama. Yeah, my mama been natural since 1990. She's still natural now. Now she do her little 2-strand twist and stuff, but my mom's always been natural. And actually she didn't want me to get a perm, but you know, peer pressure and those kind of things happened. And I just, you know, everyone around me had a relaxer. So I wanted to get a relaxer, and I got the Just For Me. I don't know if y'all remember that commercial. I like shine, body shine, whatever that. I have a look could be all mine. Hair so soft, silky, and free. I want something just for me. Just for me. I had that just for me. So, hold on. Do you remember the coconut? Wait, why are my comments disappearing, y'all? Hold on. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Hold on. My comments are disappearing. um, okay, here we go. Okay, now I think I can see the comments. Okay, there we go. Do you remember the coconut oil period? Girl, yes. Oh my God. Coconut oil. I literally, like, I was wearing, I put on coconut oil for everything, y'all. Like, I would saturate my hair. You could literally fry it. Like, if I go outside and the sun is hot, it smelled like my hair was cooking. And sometimes it would burn because what I did, dummy, what I used to do is I would put coconut oil and then blow dry my hair after like a dummy. And I didn't realize that I was literally cooking my hair. So I did everything, y'all, under the sun, everything you could think of. I done did it. And then I did the Just For Me. And then after that, 2009, 2010, when I was in my 20s, I decided to just cut all my hair off. Now, leading to the point of Lil Mama saying my hair looks nice. Okay, this is the story. This is the point. The point is that during that time, I did everything in my power to manipulate my hair and to make it look like everybody else's. Because, you know, some people have that nice coily hair. And again, all hair is beautiful. Now I realize that. But before, I wanted to achieve a certain look, if y'all know what I mean. And every time my hair was down, it didn't have that, you know, the bounciness. It didn't have it. And my hair was like this. So my hair grows out and then it goes down, right? So what I would do is I would put texturizers in my hair to make it look a little bit better. And, you know, and my hair's beautiful the way it is. I don't know what was in my mind. And I guess it's just, you know, programming and stuff. Because I was like, oh, everybody's hair looks down and it looks long. And my hair shrinks. I have so much shrinkage. So much shrinkage. Look at this. Come on now. Look at this. Like, shrinkage. It looks like my hair is so short, right? So what I did was I would just manipulate my hair with so much product, always straighten it, be a straight natural. Then I decided, no, I still want to be natural, but I want to wear my hair, you know, different ways. And then the texturizer ate up my hair. Then I had to cut my hair. Didn't cut my ends because I was so scared to, you know, cut my ends because I wanted the length. And then eventually I just stopped. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop. And this year was truly the year of self-love. Like, the only reason I wear my hair in a bun, to be quite honest with you, is because sometimes I don't care to do it. I'll be honest with you. It's just the easiest style to do. But now I'm experimenting with different styles, leaving my hair out in its natural state, just loving my hair, loving who I am. This year is all about self-acceptance, and next year is gonna be all about like from now until the end of my life, is gonna be a self-acceptance journey. And I really want to truly love myself in the way that I am, in the body I am, the hair that I have, because it's not always going to be that way. You know, life is going to change. Obviously, you know, I'm on my weight loss journey, so it's going to go down. Obviously, my hair will grow out eventually, and it's just loving me in the present. So that's my point. It's just loving myself in the present moment. And I think that's very important, especially with so many things going on, so much media trying to make you think a certain way, that you're not beautiful enough. Lil Mama says, yeah, it's a process and I'm still trying to accept it. It's a journey. Yeah, it is. When I tell you it is a journey, and there's so many things I had to unlearn about myself that came from, like, you know, white supremacy ideals or colonial ideals, or just, you know, colorism, texturism too. My mom used to do, hold on, let me see what you wrote, Phyllis. Okay, there you go. My mom used to do African threading to stretch out her hair. Yes, I need to do that. I actually did do that. You know, they had the natural. I'm telling you, I done did everything. Everything. And the only reason I haven't stuck to African threading is it takes a long time. That's it. I'm just like, I can't be bothered, but I might start that again because I heard that it does work. So I will do that, actually. Thanks for reminding me about that. I used to do that, and then you know, sometimes you don't get consistent and you stop. So yeah, so that's been my natural hair journey. Weight journey is tied to it too. Everything is just tied to everything, and I'm just trying to be a better version of myself and love myself in the skin I'm in the body I'm in. And especially when I went to Korea, I will say that Korea really taught me that, because I was like, wow, like I already knew I wasn't gonna fit in. I was like, I'm too different. And Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know the coffee lactose thing. So yeah, the creamer kind of gives me like weird mucus. So yeah, it's really been a journey for me. And yeah, and I realized the more that I accept myself, the better everybody keeps complimenting me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know. Just being myself is good enough. So yeah. So that was me talking about natural hair. I don't know how we got on that topic, but thank you. Thank you guys for the compliments. And you know, it's a lot of journeys I'm going through. And speaking of journeys, we gonna start with the topic of this video. What time is it? Okay, so 7:22. Good, right on time. All right, y'all. So I'm sure you saw the title of why I think the title, what did I title it? Why I cut off family members, or why I no longer celebrate holidays with toxic family members. Okay. All right, y'all. This is the topic. So I'm gonna be very transparent in this live, on this live. And I'm starting to learn how to, you know, how can I say, how to kind of share things. Good morning, Avis Smith. Hey sis, good morning, good morning, good morning. June the Porter, you came right at the right time. I'm about to start the topic. Yeah, I'm learning how to kind of use my voice to be an outlet and to let others know that you guys are not alone if you're struggling with this issue. Now, I know not everybody has the same issues that I have. So if you're blessed to have good family around you and people who support you, I would say you need to count your blessings, y'all, because count your blessings. I will say this before I start. I'm not gonna give too much detail because I still have to protect the privacy of some people in the stories. And obviously, you know, I'm not one of those messy people that's just gonna put all my family business out there for the internet and the world to see, because that's forever. And you know, you don't know who you can impact and affect by that. So I'm not going to give you specific details. So that's number one. So I don't know if somebody looking for messy stories, this ain't it. But I will tell you how I felt in the moment. I will kind of gloss and give like a high level, you know how they say at work, a high level overview of what occurred without going into the specifics to protect the privacy of certain people. And, you know, even though maybe I don't talk to those folks and I don't, you know, I don't F with them like that, I still respect the fact that they are still my family members. And I still want to keep that in mind when I tell it. You know, I want to be careful. I don't want people to feel like they're being targeted. I get it. You know, sometimes it's hard as a content creator. It is hard to share because your personal story becomes tied to other people. And when that happens, it's like you want to share your side of the story, but then it's going to make someone else look bad. It doesn't matter what you do, right? But at the same time, I have to be true to myself and share what I know and what I've experienced. But I'm going to try to do it in the most respectful way, if that makes sense to y'all. So y'all understand that, right? So don't look for no drama here. I ain't going to tell y'all everything. But I do need to discuss something. So let's get started. All right. So one of the things that I started to realize, so let's go all the way back to 18-year-old Romy, right? Or Minutia, because y'all know my legal name, Minutia too. 18-year-old Minutia, Romy Minutia, whatever you want to call me. So when I was 18 years old, I left home. So leading up until the time that I was 18, I lived with my parents and my siblings. So at that early age, I decided to leave home. And I left and I moved to Montreal. Now, I have to go back a little bit and kind of give you guys a little bit of a brief history lesson of my family so you guys can understand where this dynamic is coming from. So I was born in Montreal. And then when I was 4 years old, my family decided to move to the United States. So I was raised in Florida until I was 18, from the age of 4 to 18. So my upbringing was in the United States. When I was 18, I decided to move to Montreal. So the thing is that I didn't know my family in Montreal at all. Like, I didn't really know them like that. So we didn't grow up together. We weren't raised together. It's like when I was in Florida, I did have extended family, but there were only some few family members that I really like connected with. But for the most part, the other half, like my dad's siblings and their children, I didn't really grow up around them. I grew up around like cousins of cousins, like that kind of thing, right? In Florida. Now, I do have to add a disclaimer. Y'all know if I rock with y'all. So if y'all my family members on this channel, you know if I rock with you and you know if I don't. So let's just put that out there before people start texting me and saying a whole bunch of stuff. I don't need that kind of energy. And anyways, if you do, I'm going to explain it to you. But people that I really talk to, they know who they are because I consistently talk to them. So we'll just keep it like that. Okay, let's start with that. So when I left for Montreal, I was 18 years old. I was a baby. Let's just put it that way. 18, I don't care what nobody says. That is not an age to make grown decisions. But I thought I was grown. I left home. And I moved to Montreal and I started living with family members because at the time I wanted to live on my own. But my parents are very traditional Christian Haitians, and they were like, oh, you shouldn't be a young woman living by yourself. Actually, my mom was okay with it, but it was more of my dad pushing oh, you shouldn't be living by yourself. You're a young woman, and it's going to be too expensive. You should live with family, and then they'll just give you a room, and then you can just stay there with them. So during that time, I started to pick up on a lot of things. And let's just say that living with family members is totally different, obviously, from living with your parents. And as much as I will say my uncle and my aunt really did try to integrate me into the family, so I will give them that. They did do that. And as well as my extended family members, they were really interested in me, and, you know, they wanted me to get like better or to like kind of be part of their family. But I always felt like something was off. No matter what they did, except for one cousin, me and my cousins, like we like this. But no matter what my uncles and aunts did, I always felt like something was wrong. Like I was like something made me stand off. I was standoffish. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So I would try to stay in my room as much as possible. You know, my uncle was cheap. He would turn off lights and stuff. That's another story, y'all. That's another story. You see, when you live in other people's house, you got to kind of learn how to adapt to their family dynamics. And he used to just turn off, like, imagine I'm studying and in the middle of the night, lights turn off, talking about it's time for you to go to bed. Like, I couldn't live in that dysfunction, right? And then also, like, there was just a lot going on in the house, and there was just too much chaos. They had, like, a lot of kids in the house, people running around. It wasn't a good environment for me. But I still stayed there and tried my best to be close to them, right? But then the time came where I was just like, okay, I can't be here anymore. Because it was just, my mental health was declining. At that time, my family was going through a financial situation in Florida. They had ended up losing their business house during the 2008 crisis. So mind you, this all happened while I was in university. So I was in university. I had started school in 2005 at 19. I just turned 19. And then I only did like 2.5 years. I don't even count 2008 because I barely went to school. I literally dropped out of all my classes and just stopped going to school. So for 2 years, I was living in a chaotic environment. 1. 2, I had family just, you know, it was hard for me to adapt because it was so different from my environment back home. My back home, okay, we're gonna get on that. So I had a hard time adjusting. So I decided to move out. Now, when I tried to move out, I was like, look, I told my aunt, I was like, look, I can't be here anymore. Like, you know, I really need a space where I can be myself. And I'm very, like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, it's not so that I'm very introverted. I'm actually introverted, extroverted when I want to be, but I'm extroverted around the right people, right? And normally when there's too much chaos, I start to recluse and I just stay by myself. So I used to just be in my room. I used to just try to be away from people. It was just a lot going on, right? And when I tried to move out, y'all, this is where red flags started coming up. I tried to move out. I told them, hey, like, I need my own space. You know, at that time, I was like 19, about to be 20. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna figure out a way to get an apartment. My school had dorms at the time. This was like 2009. So they were, you know, schools were a little different. So then they were like, you know, I went to the guidance counselor. Actually, I didn't even tell y'all, my first semester, I almost dropped out of school. I almost flunked out of school. I got such bad grades because it was just too much going on, like trying to live in a new environment, too much chaos going on in the house, too many kids running around, just too much people in my business, no boundaries. So I was just like, nah, this is not gonna work for me. So then, where am I? Oh yeah. So then I tell my aunt and I told my dad. First I told my dad. I was like, hey, I'm about to move out. I gotta find a place to stay. I can't stay here no more. So then my dad goes and, oh, I should explain this. My dad is the last of like 11 kids, so he's the baby. And you know, in some cultures, the hierarchy is like the oldest says they run, they kind of run the rules, or they run whatever's going on in the house, and then the people lower have to follow. That's what he grew up around. So let's just put it that way. Very different culturally from what I'm used to, obviously, because I'm North American, right? So now I told my dad, I was like, hey, I need to move out. So then he goes and tells my aunt, and they literally flip out. They're like, no, there's no way she can move out as a young girl. No, she needs to. And mind you, my aunts are really traditional. Like, I've never seen them wear pants before. They only wear skirts. I remember when I was younger, I could literally, like, I'll see if I could find pictures to show you guys on the next live I do. I used to only wear skirts because my parents were so traditional, kind of like the freaking what they call them, not the pilgrim, not the pilgrims, not the Jehovah Witnesses. What's the one that always wear the skirts? The people in the Amish. They were like the Amish. We only wore skirts. That's it, because my dad's family was like, women should only wear skirts because it's Christian, and the indoctrination and stuff of whatever church they were going to. So then when I was young, when we were in Montreal, we literally lived like that. So we only wore skirts. So literally from my childhood, like up until I moved to Florida, I only wore skirts and dresses. That's all you saw me in. And like, not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but it was just like, you could understand the dynamic of like little brother, big sister, little brother kind of dynamic, right? So it's like whatever the higher people say, that's it, that goes. And then that's it, that's all. So now, fast forward to my situation. My aunt and uncle started freaking out. They started getting upset. Y'all, I came home one day from school and I got ambushed. So I walked in and they're like, hey, can we talk to you? And I'm like, okay, I'm walking in. I walk in a room, all the siblings at the table, y'all. They all at the table. So all my aunts and uncles at the table. I think they are called holiness, but I forgot. Lil Mama said, yeah, they're the Amish, the ones that wear the skirts and but yeah, they're different sects of Christianity that believe that women should only wear skirts and not pants, and they should, be very traditional, right? Girls shouldn't be outside and they should live at home until they get married, like those kind of ideals. What, only skirts? Yep. I only wore dresses and skirts till I was 4 years old. And then when we moved to Florida, my mom, I guess, cause she was gone from that side of the family, right? So she left. She kind of, cause at that time wives kind of follow their husbands and their husbands lead or whatever. But you could tell my mom was just like, no, I ain't wearing no skirt in this hot weather. So like she was like, you could be free. So I will say that. So then I kind of peeped that. Okay, it was definitely a decision made by one side of the family member more so than the other. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, so then they ambushed me, and then they were like, oh, like, you shouldn't be living alone. What do you think you're doing? Y'all, I was fighting for my life. I was fighting for my life. Mind you, this is all in French and Creole. And then I grew up speaking English, so I'm trying my best to fight for my life. And then they're like, no, this is not good. This is not the way that, a young girl should like present herself. You just moved here. You need to live with family. Alana got questions. Did you pay them rent? Just curious. Oh, girl, we gonna get on that. I'm gonna tell you right now. Yes, thank you, friend. Okay. Sorry, y'all. The coffee. So let me tell you what the stipulation was. Oh, Phyllis said, how are girls going to find a husband if they're always at home? Never understood that. Girl, we're going to touch on that. So I'm just giving y'all the red flags that started coming up as to lead me to today in 2024. So now, Alana got questions. Sis, you had asked me, oh yeah, did I pay rent? So the stipulation was when I moved there, Because, oh, by the way, Alana got questions and I went to high school together and middle school, but we really knew each other in high school. So she knew me when I was in Florida. So she knew me up until, like, you know, we're still lifelong friends, but like up until that time, I never really told her what happened. So this is the first time a lot of my friends and people are hearing these stories. So then when I left high school, I went straight there, yeah, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And then my dad told me before I left, he was like, hey, I'm going to pay the rent for you. I'm going to help you pay your rent until you find a job, and then you're going to pay them monthly. That was the deal. I said, okay. Now, mind you, you know, my family went through a financial, 2008 was not a good year for anyone. So I can't fault them for that. So it was hard for them to keep up. And then also I kind of helped out too, because I was working at the time. I worked at McDonald's. So I got a job right away, and then I started helping out a little bit with the rent. I think the rent was like $150 to $200. It was not that much at that time. Probably now it's going to be like double. But anyway, yes, I did spend my room and board. I bought my own food. But yeah, it was chaos. So then oh yeah, and then I had to clean, because women are supposed to clean. So mind you, the house is messed up. They had a whole bunch of kids, and I would have to clean up after them until I said, no, I'm not. So I would just stay upstairs just to avoid cleaning. And then they had a housekeeper too. Me and the housekeeper got along really well. She was so nice. So anywho, they lived pretty okay. So then, yeah, so they ambushed me, and then they were like, yeah, girls can't live alone, da 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 da. And then I felt like so defeated, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I felt defeated. Because at the time, mind you, I just flunked out of my first semester. I was literally on academic probation. And I wasn't adjusting well. And my guidance counselor, actually, it was so crazy. Shout out to her. Concordia University. I got some good guidance counselors. She actually sat with me, and she was like, look, based on your high school transcripts, I know you can be successful. She was like, there's no way that you shouldn't be thriving. So she kind of knew that I was in a weird, family situation. So she was like, look, like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recommend for you to come into the next semester on probation. You're gonna take the classes you really want to take. I think you should explore, because I was an English lit major, and I thought I would love English lit, but it just didn't work out for me. And she was like, look, I understand that there's a lot going on. And she was like, you're a very promising student. So I'll just, I would recommend you explore classes you like. And then that way you can bring up your average, and then we can take you off probation. No problem. So that's what I ended up doing the next semester. So now back to that. So then my dad was like, he called me and he's like, oh, like, yeah, I agree that you can't live by yourself. And I think, you see, this is the switch up. It's the switch up for me, because when I call my dad, he's very understanding. So this is the thing. My dad is super understanding, but then sometimes, like, I feel like when he talked to his siblings, it'd be a little different. So then all of a sudden things changed, right? And my dad watches this channel. He might see this video, but it is what it is. I have to tell my side of the story. Okay, so Dad, I have to tell my side of the story. So, it might, like I said, like, I have to tell my side of the story of what happened or what I thought happened. Maybe one day he can get on the channel and he can tell his side of the story. Speak your truth, honey. Little mama say, yeah, I have to speak my truth. So like I said, I'm gonna be respectful about it, but I still have to speak about what happened. So then I decided, like, okay, I'm not gonna move out then. Like, I'm just gonna stay there. All right. And at the time I was doing an internship at the, was it there? Oh, no, it wasn't at that time. So at that time I was just in school and I was working at Indigo. I had started a bookstore job. I worked at a bookstore. And also the reason I wanted to move out too was not only because of the chaotic family dynamic, but also because I went to school downtown. And then my aunt lived all the way in Montreal North. That's far, y'all. To commute every day, it is not easy. Like, it would take me almost an hour. And it would be long, bus rides, and then I have to get on the subway, and then it was just too far. It would an hour and some change because of traffic, right? So it didn't make sense for me to be there, but I decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna listen to my parents. I'm gonna listen mostly to my father, and okay, I'm gonna see what he wants. So he was like, look, if you really need to move out, because I told him, look, I can't, my mental health is stressing me out. I need to leave. So then, there were other things, but I don't want to mention that, so I'll just leave that. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail. So I said my mental health is affected. Like, if your mental health is affected, it's bad. So my mental health was starting to decline. I said, I need to leave. So my dad was like, okay. So then he was like, how about you stay with your older uncle? Y'all, that was a mistake. So I went to go live with my older uncle, and he lived in a quieter house, so he didn't have kids. All his kids left. They were empty nester, you know, because again, my dad's the youngest, so most of my cousins are really older. Like they're like in their 50s, 60s and above, right? We're the youngest cohort, right? So I decided to live with my uncle because again, I'm 19 years old at the time, almost pushing 20. I had no direction in life. I didn't have that much income. I wanted to get an education. I was like, look, I just got to stick it out and get my degree. That's all I wanted. I was like, I got to stick it out, get my degree, and then I'll figure out what to do. So I ended up moving with my uncle. And then the stipulation was, again, pay rent, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Now, my uncle got a wife. He got a wife. And let's just say that she's not the most pleasant to be around. She's gotten better now that she's older, but she's still stuck in her own ways. Y'all, okay, let me just put it this way. You know when your family member marries somebody and they a little mouthy, want to put their nose in everybody's business and tell people how to live their life, and be all up in the music videos, all up on the scene, rude with it, uncouth with it. That's who we dealing with, okay? Like, I'm not gonna expose too much people. Like I said, I could go for you. When I tell you this person has been causing chaos for decades, let's just put it that way. So I ended up living with them, and I remember my cousin at the time, she was like, don't live with them, because she also lived in Montreal too. She had a kind of similar experience where she came from another province and then she ended up moving to Montreal, and she was on her way to Toronto. She was like, don't live with them, cuz it's going to hurt you. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I was like, you know, that thing was like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. I did it. Yeah. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna think about it. She was like, girl, just come with me to Toronto, man. What you doing? Come with me to Toronto. You don't have, because she also dealt with her situation in Montreal and her situation with the whole family thing or whatever. So she was like, yo, cuz don't move to Montreal. Don't move with the uncle and his wife, because she had beef with the wife. Like there was some big, when I tell you there's so much stuff, I wish I could spill tea, y'all. I wish I could, but I can't just now, but maybe I'll be provoked to in the future. But anyways, there's so much tea. Let's just say it's some crazy tea that happened with this woman. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. I end up living with them. So now, everything was cool for a little bit. You know, I got a really good job because I ended up working at the airport in Montreal. I got a really good internship. So in Canada, in case many of you are interested, there's a federal student work experience program. While you're in university, you can actually get work experience working for like the federal government, and so you can work for Canada Post, you can work for CBSA, which is Canada Border Service Agency, you can work for Parks Canada. There's so many different options. So if any of you want to do that, that's an avenue that you can take. So basically I applied for the position against hundreds of people, y'all, hundreds of students. I remember we were in the big test room, and then we had to take the test. You had to take like this really hard test. It was like you had to memorize passports and faces, because I went to the CBSA stream, which is Immigration Border Service Agent. And I passed and I got it, and I did the interview. And mind you, at the time my French was really not that great, but I guess it was great enough. They were like, no, you're good. And then I ended up doing a use of force training. Like I was a border agent, y'all, like immigration officer. A little mama said, I've been interviewing for internships. I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna do a live about career progression, because I have a lot of, when I tell y'all I have a lot of work experience, y'all, if I go through my resume, y'all gonna be like, what the heck were you doing? I pivoted so much in my life, so I'll get on that. So I ended up doing that, and I got in, and it's a really good internship. It was a really good job. And my uncle, he still lived in Montreal North, but he was kind of in central location, so it was easier for me to travel. So actually he lived in a good location, except he lived by a highway, so there was a lot of dust that would come in. But other than that, like, it was, the location was okay. So then I got the job. I was souped. I was like, oh my God, I finally got a good job. I'm so happy. And then I would commute back and forth after school and work part-time at the airport. In case y'all don't know, it's the Trudeau Airport in Montreal. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I was doing okay for a little bit, but then that aunt started overstepping her boundaries. So what ended up happening was that she would come in my room unannounced. I didn't like that. So what she would do is that she would cook food for me, and then that would give her an excuse to go in my room. And then she would put food on the table, on the desk, because she wanted me to eat dinner with them. And again, let me tell y'all, maybe it's me, because when I'm telling the story, I also have to be real with myself. I'm just the type of person, like, and I think that it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It's a positive and a negative trait of mine. If I don't feel you, I ain't gonna fake it with you. I ain't feeling it. If I'm not feeling it, I ain't feeling it. I can't fake it. So that's kind of detrimental to me in a way, because I know that some people say you have to kind of get along with people even if you don't get along with them. And of course, I'm not going to be rude and I'm not going to cuss you out, but I'm just not going to be around you like that. I'm going to say hi, bye, go in my room, I'm done. That's literally my relationship with her, because I already heard that she did a lot of stuff. And I'm the type of person, I try to get to know people on my own without the judgment of others. But if the energy's not there, it's just not there. And my uncle is super passive. So I knew that, like, if she did some stuff, he wouldn't be able to help me out. So I was just like, nah, I'm going to stay away. That way, there's peace. I heard enough about you to know that I should stay away. So I'm just going to say hi, bye, respect you, because I'm in your house, but I'm still a tenant. And let me tell y'all something. When you have family that doesn't understand boundaries and they let you live with them, and then you're paying them rent like you're a tenant, but they don't treat you like a tenant, this is where the blurred lines start to cross. And I've realized since that day, I will never, ever, 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 ever live with family again. And when I'm talking about family, I'm not talking about my siblings and my parents. I'm talking about extended family. Because they be, especially with Haitians, they be treating you like you a child. Like, she literally, I'm paying her rent, and she coming up in my room like she my mama. So then she would leave food on the table for me. And then I was like, ugh. Like, I even told my uncle, I was like, look, I'm not going to talk to her directly. I'm going to talk to my uncle. Lil mama said that's too much. Girl, it was a lot. Like, I would come home and see cold food on and you know I'm working. So then I told my uncle, I was like, look. No, actually, I told my dad first. I said, Dad, I don't like that she comes in my room like that. You're going to have to check her. At least at that age, I knew that I couldn't go to her myself, because I was like, look, I'm still a tenant in her house. I'm still a guest. And you know me, I'm liable to pop off. So I was like, I'm not going to do the service. I said, Dad, you need to go tell her not to come in my room like that. I don't like it. So he told them. Guess what she did? She kept doing it. She tried to be respectful a little bit, because she was like, oh, okay, I know that you don't like me going in your room. I said, yes, please. And she's like, okay, I'll leave the food in the fridge. No problem. But then she started doing it again. And then sometimes I would come in the house, and then the room door would be open. So she'd be in my room. I don't know what she'd be doing, sneaking or whatever. So then I knew then I had to get up out of there. I was like, man, I got to find my escape. But right now I ain't got, remember I was doing an internship. It's like a program. And then we call it a stage. And then I had no type of financial backing. Again, my parents were going through their situation in Florida with the whole financial crisis. So I couldn't even depend on them. So I had to kind of do it myself. So I stayed there for a little bit. And then my brother decides he wants to move to Canada. So we both start living there. But my brother, he was done. He was like, I can't take it. She's too much. Like, she was just busybody, like all up in the business. She was loud. Like, you could hear her all types of hours. Like, that's not an environment. I used to have to stay outside. Like, I used to be outside so late to study because I couldn't stay inside. It's like, there's just, even though I left the chaotic environment at my other aunt's house because she had too many kids, but now this environment, they ain't got no kids, but she's just a lot. So then one day, we get into it, y'all. Hold on, how much time do I have? 7:51. Okay, I still have like an hour. I have to leave at 9, or I start getting ready at like maybe 9:20. So she starts, so one day, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I just remember this. So she started talking to me, and I think she had accused me of doing something. And I was like, look, I'm not in the mood right now. I can't talk to you right now. I said that to her in Creole. And then I went to the bathroom. Yeah, because, okay, so basically, okay, I think that's what it was. She didn't want me to use the upstairs bathroom. She wanted me to use the bathroom in the basement. Now I'm gonna expose her here because I have to make the story make sense. Her basement was not clean. I'm not used to living in that kind of environment. The basement was just old. It was, it just had too many, people do hoarding things or whatever. And then the bathroom downstairs was just, I couldn't use it. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to put too much in there, but I couldn't use it. And I will defend her on that. Maybe she's older. She didn't know how to do things properly. But it was like, when you live in somebody else's house and you try to keep up with your standards of cleaning, it's too difficult, because even if you end up cleaning, it's still whatever. It was just, I did not go to the basement. I avoided that basement like the plague. You literally, this is how I would take showers, y'all. I'm embarrassed. I know. When she would go to church and she would do her little activities, I would run to the bathroom upstairs, because bathroom upstairs was a little bit more livable. Like it was still not that great, but it was better than downstairs. Downstairs, I don't like that. Like if there was mold, let's just put it that way. Like it was bad. I felt like I was going to get ingest some toxic element if I went to use that bathroom regularly. So I wouldn't take showers there. So what I would do is I would take showers upstairs. So then while she wasn't there, or I would take showers at the gym at my school. It's that bad. Yeah, it was that bad. I couldn't use it. And my mom knew that, because I called her. I was like, I can't take showers. Like it's so bad. And mom was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, whatever. So then I went to use the bathroom upstairs, and then she's like, oh, I told you not to use this bathroom. And then I was like, she caught me or whatever. And then I was like, well, I can't deal with you right now. I have to get ready for work, because I really was on a time crunch. I was like, I have to get ready for work. Let's discuss this later. She's like, no, you're going to discuss it right now. This lady put her hand in my face. Y'all, at that time, you see, this is calm Romy that you guys know and love right now. This is calm Romy. I have evolved. But you could ask anybody. You could ask my siblings. At that time, I was pop-off Romy. When I tell you, I literally turned around because I was brushing my teeth. I was washing my face. And then she started saying, oh, da-da-da-da. Like, she put her hand in my face. And I told her, I turned around. I was like, I have to be calm, because I'm about to go off. And I have to respect her because she's still an elder. I put my toothbrush down. I turned around. And I said, don't you ever in your life put your hand in my face again. You are not my mom. You are not my dad. And even my mom and my dad would never do that to me. So I said, you better leave right now. And she's like, well, I didn't mean to say that. Like, all of a sudden, victim, because then my uncle came. He heard the commotion. He's like, wait, what's going on? And then I was like, I can't talk right now. I was like, I need to go. So then he was like, what's happening? What's that? She's like, well, I was just trying to talk to her and she's getting all upset. He's like, okay, we're going to calm down. At least he was the voice of reason. He's like, we got to calm down, whatever. Because she knew I was going to go back and tell my dad. I called my dad right there. My brother had left at that time. So remember I said we both lived there together, but he ended up going back he was like, I can't live here anymore. He went back to the States. So I was like, my dad was like, I called my dad. I said, I'm leaving. I'm not staying here no more. I don't care. I'm leaving. And then he was like, oh, but you gotta think you're almost done with school. Cause you see when they dangle the carrot in front of you, right? So he was like, and he was right. He was like, you're almost done with school. Hold on. You said, Lil Mama said, I was wondering why this story felt familiar. Hold on. Let me read that. Y'all, I'm still getting used to these comments. Hold on, y'all. What? I can't see my... Oh, there we go. I was wondering why this story felt familiar. When I took my first trip to Korea over the summer, one of the teachers' wives was acting just like this. Oh, girl! We didn't even touch on Korea yet. That's a whole nother topic. I'm telling you, I got stories for days. So, one day we're going to touch on Korea, how they infantilize people. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to continue the story. So then she was like, oh, yeah, she played victim. Like I just all of a sudden just got aggressive and started getting angry. And I told my dad, I was like, I don't care what you say. And y'all know her. This is the thing. You know people. If y'all heard stories about her, y'all would know like, oh, she did it. Oh, she did it. Because if anyone knows me, they know I'm very respectful. I don't get in people's business. I stay out the way. But don't piss me off. Do not piss me off. Don't do it. Don't do it. The one thing I don't tolerate is disrespect. That's from anybody. I even told my husband that when I first met. I was like, look, we could kick it. We could be cool. But when the disrespect happens, even when I was teaching, when I was working, I always tell people, I'm like, I don't mind constructive criticism and dialogue, but the disrespect, I can't do it. It was the disrespect. Don't put your hand in my face like I'm your kid. Girl, no. So then I told my dad I'm out. Y'all, within the next few months, I dropped out of school for real. I was like, F this school, F this program, because I can't afford to get my own apartment. I need to work full time. So I went all the way. I was applying to jobs like crazy. I decided to just drop out of school. I was like, I'm going to work full time. I don't care. I'm going to make it on my own. So then I started working full time. I got the job. I kept hounding them though. They were like, because it was I could say it out loud now. I don't work there no more. It was UPS. So it was a full-time job, customer service agent. And I remember I applied and then I kept hounding her. I was like, hey, when's the training gonna start? When's the training gonna, I think her name was Claudia or whatever her name was. But anyway, she was really nice. She was like, okay, Romy, you can start in the next training class. As soon as I got my money, like first 2 paychecks, y'all, I found a place. Like maybe, no, I lied. Maybe not first 2 paychecks. Maybe the 3rd paycheck or 4th. It was like within 2 months I had found a place. But if y'all saw my story time in the bacon chat, I got entangled while I was at that job. So y'all see, now you can see what happened. Now I filled in the blanks. This is what led me to that situation with Damien. Right after that, it was like a secession. So now we gonna just stick to the family dynamics. Y'all gotta watch my bacon chat, one of my bacon chats to talk about Damien. I think it was the Thanksgiving one where I was talking about Damien. I got entangled. So then I left. I got my own place. And of course, the family wasn't having it. They was arguing, or they was saying, oh, you can't have your daughter living all the way out there on West. Y'all, I moved all the way to West Island. If you know Montreal, there's Montreal North, which is like the East End. Then you have the Montreal Central, downtown, and the West End is way far. I literally live like almost an hour away from them. Like, it would take like at least 45 minutes. I live all the way on the other side of the island. Like, let's say that the East is, I was all the way on it. I went as far as possible. And from then, I just started distancing myself away from the family, especially my dad's side, most specifically. So I had a cousin. My cousins were still, me and my cousins still cool. Like, they always reach out to me. I reach out to them. So like I said, disclaimer, it's not about some family members. I still keep in touch with some. It's not all of them. But I'm just saying that there's just some toxic people that they just overstep boundaries and they don't understand boundary setting. And I noticed that a lot, and I can only speak for the Haitian community because my parents are from Haiti. It is prevalent in Haitian culture. It's like they don't understand boundaries. They don't understand that, we're adults. I'm literally 38 years old now and people still treat me like I'm 10. Let's just put it that way. There's no respect, right? So then I ended up moving to West Island. And then like I said, I got entangled with Damien and that whole friends. Oh, child, if y'all didn't watch it, like I said, y'all got to watch that bacon chat. So now I start living on my own and I'm struggling. I'm struggling, y'all. Like, it is not easy to live on your own, especially at such a young age. And that's why I let people know, like, if you're a young person and you have the opportunity to stay with your parents, I would highly recommend it. But I didn't have that chance because, I'm going through it, parents going through it, everybody going through it. I didn't have a safe space, right? So I had to hustle on my own. And when I was on my own, an idle mind makes for a devil's workshop. I was trying to find myself. I was working, taking care of myself. There were times where I couldn't even afford toilet paper, y'all. Like, it was bad. It was bad. But by the grace of God, I made it through, right? So then after my whole stint in Montreal, I decided to move to Toronto. So my cousin kept telling me, yo, you should move to Toronto, da, 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 da. So I ended up moving. And I will say this, Toronto was way better because at that time my mom and my sister and my brothers decided to move back to Canada, so I had my immediate family there, so it did help a lot. When I was in Montreal, after, like, I just never spent Christmas with anyone. They have a big event every January 1st. I think I attended one of those events where we have like a big family reunion on, like, it's like a family reunion type of like situation where all the family gets together for the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the year. Y'all, I only attended once. I lived in Montreal for 8 years. I only attended one event and I never went back again. I didn't spend Christmas with them. Every time people would like call me, I would just not pick up the phone. I was a ghost, to the point where my aunts, because remember I have several aunts and uncles, they would call my dad and be like, oh, how come she's not picking up? She's not talking to us. And I was just like, I can't do it. There's one aunt, I really love her. Like, she's really sweet and she understands boundaries. She's really nice. But the thing is, the others ruin it for them. Like, I was just like, nah, I just don't want to be around y'all. So I stayed on the West End until it was time for me to move to Toronto. And then I left. I dipped. I was gone. So I just cut everybody off, kind of. So now let's move on to Toronto. Now, you would think Toronto would be better, right? Toronto was good for a little bit, but again, I don't want to put people's business out there, but I will say that I do have family in Ontario. Alana got a question, said, I feel you, family or not, I can't. Hold on. Y'all, why is it doing this? I got to get used to this. I think I got to double tap it to see the comments. Hold on, y'all. Oh, I couldn't see your question, Alana. I don't know why I couldn't see it. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I feel you, family or not, I can't deal with the shenanigans. Girl, when I tell you the shenanigan was getting, again, the shenanigan, what did it say? The shenanigan were beginnings. There was a lot of shenanigans. Like, there's more. I'm just giving y'all a high level overview. So I have family members in Ontario too. Okay? And they have moved from another province to move to Ontario, and they're my dad's family as well, one of his siblings, stuff like that. So we spent a few Christmases with them, and it was just, when I tell y'all, it's chaos. It's like, it's great because these folks, I was actually closer to them, let's just put it that way. But then there were certain things that happened over Christmas holidays, especially around Christmas time. There's tension, beefing, internal beefing with people, one person beefing with that person, and then that person comes to the dinner, and then it becomes a whole thing where nobody wants to be around that person, but I'm trying to stay neutral because I ain't got nothing to do with it, and I'm trying to be in the middle, but you can sense the tension. And they wanted our family to be involved in their Christmas dinners. But at the same time, it's like, y'all beefing, man. What I'm doing there? Y'all beefing. So it just became a lot. So every time Christmas time would come around, I would just be like, I can't do it. I even told my sister, I was like, I can't do it. I feel like something's going to pop off this year. One time something did pop off and I had to tell somebody off. You see, that's what I'm saying. So I had to tell somebody off. Again, because my boundaries were overstepped. But I think this time it didn't end badly because me and that person actually had an open channel of communication. I was like, look, I can't be dealing with this stuff. Like, this is too much for me. So eventually I started like kind of distancing myself away from them as well, even though we were closer. And I felt bad about it because I was just like, I have to keep my peace. I have to protect my peace. I can't do it anymore. So now, fast forward to when I decided to move to Korea. When I decided to move to Korea, I realized something, and I didn't realize it then, but now in retrospect, I realize it now, and I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. When I decided to move to Korea, I kind of took it as I'm gonna start a new life. I'm gonna start a new life. I'm not gonna deal with the same people. I'm gonna make a new name for myself. And I moved with that purpose. Yes, I wanted to know the country and I wanted to understand, live in another culture. That was my main reason. But underneath, y'all know the iceberg where they're always showing you like the iceberg at the bottom. There's like more reasons that you don't understand, or they're hidden things that you don't see that the eye can't see above. So above, my purpose was, okay, I do want to learn a new culture. I do want to have a new experience. I do want to live somewhere else. But then internally, and I didn't realize it until recently, I had to really, really dig deep. I realized recently that it wasn't just that. What it was that I was escaping my family. I was escaping them. Now, I gave y'all the external family, extended family drama, but I'm not even telling y'all internally what's going on. And I can't share that because, you know, I still love a lot of, like, I love my parents. I love my siblings. I love everybody. But you know, what I can say is this. You know, when you get older and you start to realize that the way that things are going is not normal. It's like there's a time, especially if you're dealing with family members that are a little different, you start to realize that this is not normal, especially when you live somewhere else and you start to see how they live, and then you come back and you see that, okay, this is not normal. Because now I'm at the age where I can see things for what they are, and those smoke and mirrors are not there anymore. When I was a kid, I could probably kind of, you know, not see it that way. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, nah, the accountability ain't there. So while I was in Korea, I escaped. When I tell y'all I escaped, I had the most beautiful 6 years of my life. I was so detached from what was going on back home. I would hear stories and then I would just kind of dismiss it. Be like, oh, you know, it is what it is. Y'all gonna deal with it. Y'all gonna handle it. My sister, though, she was holding it down because she was the one who had to deal with the brunt of a lot of stuff that was going on. But I was gone. Lil Mama said, I enjoyed my short time in Korea too. I want to go back. Yep. It's an escape. When you live in another country, usually when some people say, are you escaping something? And I say like, no, I just want to have fun and meet new people. No, I was escaping. You know how I realized I was escaping? Because when I came back to Canada, I felt anxiety. I was like, oh, I got to deal with this now. I can't hide anymore. I'm literally on the other side of Canada. I'm on the other coast. Let me tell y'all, this is how far I wanted to get away from everyone. My family lives on the East Coast. I ain't never lived on the West Coast a day in my life. I've never been, this is my first time living in the West Coast. My family lives in the East Coast. All my family lives on the East Coast. Tyrus McNeil says, I realized that's why I went away to college was to escape my family. Hold on a second. Sis, let me see if I can get this comment up. I'm gonna figure this out, y'all. This is crazy. I don't know how. Hold on, maybe I can do it this way. Hold on a second. I'm gonna try to get your comment, Tyra. Why is it? Y'all, I'm an old lady when it comes to social. When it comes to this live stuff, like when I do it in the other angle, it's easier for me to see comments. Oh, there we go. I realized that's why I went away to college was to escape my family. I ended up dropping out due to low grades after 4 years. I've always wanted to live in another country too. Yup. It's prevalent. Couldn't you live on the East Coast and just not talk to them? I could live next door to you and we'll never talk to you. Damn it, that. No, it's not necessarily that. Okay, one of the reasons I moved to the West Coast, but another reason was because, Dom's parents live in Korea still. And it was just easier for us to live on the West Coast in case we have to fly out because Dom's an only child. So we decided that, okay, living somewhere in the middle, because it doesn't take long to go to the East Coast from here. It's like 4-hour plane ride. And then to go to Korea is more of a 10-hour plane ride. So it's better than going all the way from Toronto to Korea. That's one of the main reasons we moved to the West Coast. But another reason was I wanted to escape my family. I was happy. I was like, ooh, this is it. If I come back to Canada, I am not living in Toronto. I was going to live in another city, and then we just decided to live in, first we had chosen Vancouver, but that didn't work out because I was like, I'm not living there. Too many people. And then we chose Victoria right after. So back to Korea. Korea was an escape for me. Korea was an escape for me because I didn't have to deal with family issues until, okay, if y'all was on my channel, and this is not a surprise, it's not a secret. My daddy he had some kind of situation in Haiti where he got locked up unjustly. And that also, when I tell y'all, okay, the Haiti thing, when my dad got locked up, little mama said, I remember, yup. I had posted a story and said, my dad's in Haiti, I need your help, da 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 da. When he got locked up, that's when it was the beginning of the end for me and my family's relationship. Tyra said, I want to finish my degree eventually. I've been out of school since 2018. I don't know where to start. I'm going to give you advice, Tyra. I'm going to give you some advice, sis. I'm going to finish my story, and then I'm going to give you a lot of advice. And y'all notice my hair shrinking with the time. I'm telling y'all. But I love it. It's so interesting how our hair is. Hold on. I'm going to give you advice, Tyra, from what I could see. So, okay, I'll figure this out. I keep tapping. Okay, there we go. Okay. I want to finish my degree eventually. I've been out of school since 2018. I don't know where to start. I want to do one of those English classes in Korea, maybe finish my degree there. I'm going to give you advice, sis. Just wait 1 second. So 2018. I'm going to give you some advice soon. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Here we go. All right. So what I was saying was that I went to Korea, I escaped, and then my dad got locked up. When I tell y'all, the family was ghost. Okay. So how can I explain it? Not everybody was ghost, because we did have family meetings, and then there were people who actually helped out financially. So I will say that for my mom's side and my dad's side. However, the people that were in Haiti, this was where it started to really make sense to me. So there were some family members that were in Haiti. I'm not going to put specific names, but they didn't give us information about what happened to my dad. They didn't tell us where my dad was. It was like everybody was on mute. And now the way that it was explained to us after the fact, or while it was going on, was that, oh, there's just too much risk, so we can't give you guys too much information, which we understood. However, simple things like, does my dad have food? Can somebody run food to him? My brother literally had to call other people, other family members that were extended family that's not even that close to it. So these are immediate family members, by the way. My dad's immediate family members on his side. They did not contact us at all. Not my mom, nobody. My mom tried to reach out to them. Nobody's picking up. Nobody's doing nothing. And because one family member had control over the whole situation, so this family member was trying to get the lawyer prepared and all that stuff, allegedly, let's just put it that way. I have my theory on that. Again, I'm not going to put too much family business out there, but allegedly, this person was working things out and told them, don't tell us too much information. However, what they don't understand is that when you're going through that situation, I don't care what's going on. You're going to tell me, is my dad eating? Is he straight? That's it. We didn't need to know the ins and outs about what was going on. They couldn't even do that. My mom calling people, nobody picking up their phone. Nothing's going on. So then me and my sister decided, okay, we're going to do a family meeting. Gather all the troops together. Because if I'm having a problem with y'all, I'm going to let it be known right away. We ain't going to do this whole back and forth, oh, passive aggressive. No, I'm going to be passive. I'm not going to be passive. I'm going to be aggressive. So I said, okay, once you start disrespecting my mom, gloves are off. Because how are we the family members and we don't know what's going on? But then y'all having meetings in the background and doing all this and that and the third and communicating with each other, but you're not communicating with the family of the person that's actually going through this. And that's when I realized that they don't respect us. They don't respect my mom or me or my siblings. So everybody was thinking about their own relationship with my dad, but they're not thinking about our feelings as far as like, your dad's in jail, bro. I'm all the way in Korea. My siblings are all the way in Toronto. Some siblings are somewhere else in the US, and nobody could do anything. And y'all can't even tell us if he's eating right or nothing. We have to find this information out ourselves. Like, we're literally talking to people, going to people, getting this person's hookup, that person's hookup, just to get him food. That don't make no sense. but then the people who have the information on mute. So then we had a family meeting. I won't go into too much detail about what happened there, but what I will say is this: I went buck. I'm sorry I had to, because one particular person or relative was being very condescending and acting as if we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know the situation in Haiti. You don't understand what's going on. This cousin is doing their best. They can't give you all the information. We don't know everything. We just have to trust. And I'm like, where are the receipts? All this money being sent, this money being asked for, where the receipts at? That's what we want to know. Where they at? Where this money going? Who we paying for? Because y'all just asking for money, money, money. But where is it going? I'm asking logical questions. And y'all sitting here acting as if I'm just being a problematic child. So me and my sister, we kind of tag teamed. I'm sorry, we had to. I had to. This is the only time, and I don't like to put education on stuff and try to act like I'm above because I'm smarter than you. I'm not that kind of person. But in that moment, I had to let people know what's up. Don't try to make it seem as if I'm asking wrong questions, because I'm asking logical questions. If somebody's asking for ransom or somebody's asking for certain things, I need to know who that person is, how much they're asking for, what's the demand, where the money is going. You need to have that in check, because I can't just, how we all sending money, we don't know where it's going. Tyra said, LOL, you remind me of myself. So demure and pretty on the outside, but if you try me, we'll get quickly. I get that from my mama. We don't play. But actually, I'm worse, because at least my mom knows when to stop. I don't stop. I'm going to get my answers. So I started to feel like this was not what it seemed. Something wasn't right. So I'm like, So I start being very, very suspicious. And after we had that family meeting and people were like, oh, you can't just be accusing the cousin. You don't have enough facts. Because I started saying, look, there ain't no receipts. I don't trust this situation. For all I know, what if that cousin's pocketing all the money and they're asking us to give it money and we fund it? Or what if we're overpaying? I need to know what it is. We didn't even know who the lawyer was, y'all. We ain't know nothing. So I'm like, nah. If you're from the islands, you understand what I'm saying. It's like, sometimes when people asking you for money and saying it's for one thing, and then you know that it's probably going somewhere else. And I still hold that belief. I don't care who's watching my live right now. That's my feeling. My personal feelings, my personal story, my opinion on the situation. I'll be respectful and not put people's business out there. But I will say this. That was suspicious to me. So now, fast forward. My dad gets out of jail. Now, at this point, I'm like, I'm over it. This is where I was still in Korea at the time. But mind you, I'm still dealing with that. And Dom and I are planning a wedding. And I'm planning to move back to Canada. I had so much on my plate at the time. So that was one of the instances. After that situation happened and died down, I cut so much people off. I literally changed my name on Facebook, y'all. I changed my name from my family name to my husband's last name. I went on my social media. I started blocking people, deleting people, blocking. And then I put my husband's last name on Facebook. I said, I'm gonna start a new legacy. That was the day I decided that I am no longer tied to my paternal family. To some family members, whatever. People watch it. At this point, I don't care no more. And so now, fast forward to when I moved to Canada. So in Korea, I was in a bubble. And I lived in a really nice bubble. I wasn't stressed. I lived my life. But I knew that I couldn't escape. And now, when I came back to Canada, because when I was explaining to Dom what was going on, because he was part of everything when my dad got locked up. And he was like, this is insane. Like, I've never seen something like this. Everybody deals with family drama, but this was on another level. And it's not just that situation. There's so much more. I'm telling you, it's like a generation of just a lot of things going on that I can't go into. But those were the main things. So after that whole situation, my dad came back. And I decided at that point, I'm just not going to deal with them no more on that kind of level. So coming back to Canada, it's been only 2 years since I've been in Canada, and I had to cut off more people. There was a situation that happened recently. I can't go into too much detail. As I said, I'm trying to keep it cute and on mute. But there was recently a situation that happened with one of my uncles. And then another chaotic situation. Chaos. No communication. People accusing people of doing things. On both sides. I can't even say it's right or wrong. Both sides. They're not communicating with each other. There's no self-awareness, no accountability. And it's the same pattern I've seen my whole life. And I said, you know what? From this day forward, I'm done. I told my family members, I even told my sister, I told everybody. I was like, I'm no longer participating in this anymore. I'm out. So that was the final nail in the coffin. For the simple fact that, like I said, I left Korea. When I was in Korea, I escaped for 6 years. But then this is what my advice to you guys and what I'm trying to tell you guys is that I escaped, but it was temporary because I wasn't dealing with the situation. I just kind of devoid and detached from it. But as time goes on now, I realized that I should have been cut people off from a long time ago. And also, mind you guys, I'm going to give y'all an update about the whole Haiti jail situation. When my dad left, they were like, oh, like, you know, his life is in danger, all this stuff, whatever, him and a few other people. How about the person, one of the people that was saying that, you know, they were in danger too with my dad and just making this whole situation about them being in danger and we had to give money and all that stuff, which is okay. I accept that. But then that person is still gallivanting over there. Still over there. Still doing what they're doing. So in my mind, I was like, my suspicions were confirmed. I already told y'all. I know how a Ponzi scheme works. I know how a Ponzi scheme works. You know, when a situation happens, you already know how it works. Like, this is what I'm going to tell y'all. Your gut is important. And you know when something is off. I'm just going to say that. And sometimes you may not understand it fully because you're like, oh, I'm tripping. You know, when you say, oh, no, I'm tripping, that's usually when you're not tripping. You better be tripping more. Or no, it can't be that. You're trying to convince yourself that, no, I have to trust this person. I've known this person my whole life since I was a kid. Like, this person would never do something like that. I don't believe it. Better believe it. Better believe it. And the people that are closest to you are usually the most dangerous people because they know you better than anyone else outside. That's dangerous. Family is so dangerous. When I tell you, being around the wrong family members, I should say that. Being around the wrong people is really dangerous, especially when it's family, because they can destroy you. And it hurts more when it's someone that's closer to you than when it's just a stranger. Because you don't expect that from that person. This is somebody you grew up with. So it's like you're trying to make excuses like, oh no, that person would never. Oh no, I can't believe it. Believe it. Everything that I felt about my family has come to fruition. Even when I had those little inklings like, I don't want to F with these people. But I still tried because I was like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being too much. Maybe I'm being too emotional. Maybe I'm just, I'm just being too much, because I always put the blame on myself. Like, oh, maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't know how to get along with people. Maybe it's easier for other people to get along with their family members than just me. I'm just standing up. No, it's not me. It's not me. I'm telling y'all, sometimes it's bigger than you. If you could go back and check generational trauma, you'll see it. And the pattern just keeps patterning. But it may not be me, but it's going to stop with me. Because most of these issues that I'm talking about started way before I was born. Way before I was born. And we didn't even get into land theft. We didn't even get into, I'm telling you, there was so much that's been going on, like in my generational family tree. So then you have, and then also on top of it, religion. So now you have a religious family, And self-image is important, or image, what we show to the public. Oh, we have to show we're a good family. We have to show we're so great. And I'm like, y'all are the worst of the worst. You want to show and uphold a standard that you're not even living. That is dangerous to me. Tyra says, let the BS end with you. You create your own legacy. That's where I'm getting at right now. Hold on, let me check the time. I'm sitting here yapping. Okay, I still got time. So for me, it was more so like realizing now, at the age that I am, now that I have my own family, that I can't let this continue. I'm never gonna let this continue. This ends with me. So my advice to y'all is, if you're going through a situation, so for example, if you have a good family, you come from a good home, your family is supportive, you have a great family system, continue that legacy. Continue it, because you don't want to let that go. Whatever your parents did right and whatever their parents did right, continue to model it. And maybe add your little seasoning to it just to make it more realistic, right? Continue it. But if you come from a toxic family, do not engage. I'm telling y'all, you have to protect your peace. And I realize now that I am the age that I am, I'm no longer going to let people steal my peace that don't deserve it. I'm no longer going to cheat, because what you're doing is, when you have kids, you're going to teach them that it's okay for people to overstep boundaries. It's okay for people to not to be accountable. It's okay for people to steal. It's okay for people to do so many bad things, lie. It's okay for people to treat you as a child when you're not a child. It's okay for people to disrespect you. It's okay for people to do so many things. And you're teaching your child that that's okay, because you're still fooling with them folks. Oh, it's my family. You know, family's family. I hate when people say that. Oh, it's your family. And I understand that, because, you know, my mom did try to say that to me. She's like, well, family's family. And I get it, because that's my mom's perspective. So I respect it. But that's not my perspective. And I had to tell her, because she was like, why didn't you invite this person to your wedding? Why didn't you invite that person? And I was like, I don't want them there. Why am I going to fake it? I don't want them there. I'm not inviting them. For what? You know I'm beefing with these folks. Why am I going to invite them? So I could put up an image like, oh yeah, we're such a perfect, I don't, damn that. I'm breaking the family. I'm breaking everything. Y'all ever saw Soul Food? I'm Terry. I'm Terry up in this mug, okay? F it. F everybody, right? That's totally fine who I invite. That's what I'm saying. Don't feel ashamed. And, you know, maybe I'm an extremist, but I feel like this. And I love the Bible for that, because the Bible be extreme too. If something, like I remember there's one parable where it says, Jesus said, if your left arm is causing you to sin, cut it off. Because it's better for your left arm to be gone than for you to have to endure that sin and to live in that sin. That's the same way I feel about anything in life. I love that. If my family is causing me mental health issues, if my family is causing my peace to be disturbed, every time I get a phone call from them, I get anxiety, I'm cutting it off. Right then and there. And now that I don't spend holidays with family no more, I decided, no, we're not doing that no more. Sorry. I love you all. I will spend time with selected family members in the future, because I do want Dom to meet certain people. But I'm no longer going to subject him to people that I'm not really fooling with. For what? Just so we can be like, oh, that's my cousin and that's my person. And that. No. Just to keep up this facade, no. Because most of the time I don't be hearing from the folks anyways. So what's the point? So this is all to say that the reason I stopped dealing with toxic family members is because I realized that I don't want to be a toxic person. I don't want to have that in my life. I don't promote that. I don't want that in my environment. And I don't want, you know, in the future, I don't want my husband around it. And if we're blessed to have kids, I don't want my kids around that. I want them to grow up in a different environment. And, you know, when you start getting older and you start realizing certain things that may not be the best for you or your kids. I would never want my kid. And I thought about it this way. I was like, you know, what would younger me tell older me? Younger me would be like, you went through this life yourself. You went through these experiences and God made it this way for a reason. But that doesn't mean that you have to continue. It doesn't mean that you have to take and keep burdening yourself with these issues. You leave it up to God. You forgive those folks, but then you move on. You got to move on. Forgiveness, and that's what, another thing I want to touch upon is this idea of forgiveness, right? So a lot of people get it misconstrued. They think that you forgive and then you're supposed to still be around that person. I can forgive you and still not want to be around you. And I had to learn that the hard way, because I used to think forgiveness was like, I forgive the person and I'm still around them and, you know, things will get better and we'll repair our relationship. But you have to know that some relationships are irreparable. Because if that person doesn't make the changes, or if that person does not try, or if you feel like they did something to you that's so bad, it's never gonna work, because there's always gonna be in the back of your mind what they did, and it's gonna be hard for you to move on. Like, you have to really put yourself in such a submissive way, like humble yourself so much. And there's nothing wrong with humbling yourself, forgiving, and still letting that person in your life. But when they've done something so wrong, or they are still living in that harmful environment, I hate to use the word toxic, to be honest with you, but it's the best word that fits it. Their life is still chaotic. They haven't made any changes. That life is chaotic, and it's going to spread onto whoever's around there. And I said to myself, look, like, you know, there's certain things that I was bringing into my marriage, because I grew up in such a dysfunctional space that I thought it was normal. And so I'm going to talk about that in a video. What I thought was normal wasn't really normal. My husband had to bring it to my attention. He was like, this is not normal. This is dysfunction. And you're just so used to operating in dysfunction that you don't even realize that it's not normal. And you still have family members that are operating in this dysfunction. And so we're all just being dysfunctional together, and then trying to be with functional people and thinking that it's normal. And I was like, nah, this is not. It's kind of like COVID. Like, you know, the disease that just hops on people. I was like, I'm not going to let this dysfunction hop on my kids. And also in my marriage. It's not just having kids, it's on my husband. And so I had to do a lot of self-reflection. Even this week, like every week is a new struggle, because some things come out and then you don't realize where they come from until you have to face it head on. And it's this fear of you kind of, because you're so used to operating that way. And I'm telling y'all, if you want to stop being dysfunctional, you have to get around or get away from the people who are causing you to relive those triggers. I have trigger moments still. And actually, I'm going to go to therapy soon. I decided I need to go to therapy. I was holding off on it for as long as I could, because I'm thinking that, okay, it's not that bad. I'm fine. But y'all, it's like little things trigger me now. Especially being around, like being back in Canada, because, you know, you have reminders now. Like I said, in Korea, it was a little easier to handle because I could be away from it. But now that I'm back home, I'm back in even though my family's far away, the dysfunction is still there. I still have trigger moments, like Christmas. For example, around the holidays, I get triggered because I'm like, why can't I get angry? To be honest with you, I have anger and resentment. I have a lot of anger and resentment. And I didn't realize that I was such an angry person. But I could be. Because around the holidays, I'm like, why can't I be like, I see other families celebrating Christmas. I see them shopping with their kids, shopping with their parents, shopping with, you know, extended family. All these people are having family dinners. And I'm like, why can't I have that? What's wrong with me? Why can't I have a normal family like other people? But again, it's all a little illusion, because maybe people are struggling too, right? But it's like, when you see other people living a peaceful life, and you see that they have prioritized peace, and then your life is all chaos. Always chaos. Always something happening. Always anxiety and stress. Triggers brought on by other people. You're trying to live a peaceful life, and then they're bringing their drama to you. And then you are forced, your hand is forced to be like, I can't be around that person. But then what if they're your parents? I'm gonna drop that in there. I ain't gonna say too much. What if they trigger you? What do you do when you love your parents and you love your family, but their lifestyle and decisions are affecting you negatively? What do you do in that case, right? So it's like I don't have the answers, y'all. I'll be honest with you. I don't have the answers. But what I will say is that the first step that I'm taking is just removing myself. So that's why I no longer spend holidays with family. I choose who I want to spend holidays with. And my sister told me about a theory. It's called the gray rock theory. I think that's what it's called, where it's like when you're around people, especially like okay, let's say you don't want to cut the relationship off, but you still don't want to deal with them. Like, you want to set boundaries. You got to do gray rock theory, where it's like you only respond with short answers and you try not to get into too much detail. But then I don't think that's a great way to live either, because it's like you're separating yourself, like you're removing a part of yourself. You can't be your normal self because you want to be able to operate and function around family, but then they're so dysfunctional that you have to stonewall them so that they don't get a lot of information from you, because it's going to trigger you. So for example, this week, I had a family member call me randomly, y'all, randomly. Random as ever. Called me, talking about, oh, I heard that you're back in Canada. I've been back for like almost 2 years. That's neither here nor there. Then they were asking me, oh, like, how's life? How's your husband? All these things. And then asking me, oh, like, do you have a baby in the belly? Or are you planning on getting pregnant? Are you planning on having kids? I haven't spoke to this person in years. I don't think I've spoken to this cousin, and I know that cousin didn't mean any harm. I didn't think it wasn't harmful on this person's end. But what they don't understand is that they don't see the trigger points. They don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know you. If this had been somebody that I actually talked to on a regular, and they're like, hey, are you and Dawn planning on having kids? I wouldn't have a problem. But it's the boundaries I'm talking about. Like, it's just not knowing how to have conversations. And I could have let it affect me because y'all don't even know the backstory of what's going on right now. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't know. Like, I only show what I show. But it may not be easy for me to have kids. I'll just be transparent with y'all. It's not easy for me. But he didn't know that. But had he took time to be like, well, you know what? Let me find out a little bit more about her and see where she's at. And again, some people might be like, well, he's just asking a question. But what I'm trying to say is that I haven't spoken to this person in a long time. It's not like we forged a relationship for me to tell him so many things, right? Yes, we were close when I was younger. However, now I'm older. So it's like you got to build up to that, right? And I understand that for some people, it may not trigger them. But for me, it triggers me. Because I'm like, okay, so now the expectation is, because Dom and I have been together for about 4 years, that I'm supposed to have a baby now. So now everybody's going to keep asking me when you're going to have a kid. Do you know how draining that is? Especially when you don't even know if you could have a kid. Let's just put it that way. And I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that because I've never been the type of person to be like, oh, I have to have a kid to complete my life. I know some people are like that. I'm just not that kind of person. So I'm okay if we decide, if they say, hey, you can't have kids for whatever reason, I'm okay with that. But it's just that, when you're around people who trigger you, and it's not just, I'm just using it as an example. They trigger you And then you just become like, it's so much pressure and anxiety that comes with it. Because now I'm like, okay, next time I'm around this person, I don't know when's the next time I'm gonna talk to them. They gonna ask me again. So now I just answer and I just say, well, God willing. And then that seems to give people the satisfied answer that they want. But, you know, other times people ask me, how come you don't spend time with your family? Why are you living so far away from us? I had a cousin tell me that. They're like, oh, you decided to move to BC. Why are you so far away from the family? And I'm like, y'all are crazy. Y'all are nuts. You're nuts. And if I'm in a circus, I'm going to start to feel like a clown. Because y'all think it's so normal to be in a dysfunctional environment that you think I'm crazy and something's wrong with me because I don't want to participate in the dysfunction. It's crazy to me. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me. Anyway, my point is this, like, that was just an example, but that's not even the tip of the iceberg. There's so many other examples I could give you. But all I'm saying is that I don't want to be triggered, and my family triggers the hell out of me. They trigger me. Every time I'm around them, I get triggered. And it's not a positive thing. I don't feel feelings of, oh my God, I miss my family. Oh my God, I miss them so much. Every time I get a phone call, I feel anxiety. I know like, me and my sister, we even have we're like, oh, some shit's about to, oh, there's some shit. It's going to be some BS. It's going to be some BS. And sure enough, it's some BS. And you just have to be there. And you just have to, like I said, I can get away from my extended family. No problem. I could cut. No problem. But there's, again, I don't want to say it too much. Just know that there's some family members I can't cut off like that for specific reasons. You could read between the lines. And they trigger me the most. But I have to learn how to endure, right? And I felt, oh yeah, that's where I was going. I was getting at anger and resentment. I felt anger and resentment for a long time. Because, yeah, why can't I be like other people? When people tell me they go on trips with their families, or they, you know, spend Christmas and they do all these things, and, you know, they have such a close bond, and I don't have that. I don't have it. I don't have that. I don't have it. It's sad, right? All I get is judgment, you know, pressure. Why you not? And there's always comparison. Comparison? You feel like you're not enough? Oh, you shouldn't be renting. Why are you renting? You guys should have a house. Everything we do is never good enough. You work for this place. Why don't you work for that place? How come your husband is doing this? How come you're not doing that? How come you guys don't have kids yet? Why aren't you guys trying? Why don't you guys have this? Why don't you have that? This is what you get. You don't get what other people get. And you know what? Like, again, comparison is the thief of joy, but sometimes you gotta compare. Because I need to know what's normal and what's not normal. When some people tell me when they spend time with their families, they actually really spend time with them. Their parents know them in and out. They actually spend a lot of time together. They will go on trips with their parents or their extended family. You know, they do all these holidays, and, you know, they really get to know each other, even if it's just small things like puzzling together, drinking coffee, having a good old funky time. And I'm not saying that that's not what has happened in the past, but I'm saying that when it does happen in my family, especially with extended family, not so much with my immediate family, I'll say that, but with extended family, there's always some drama. It's never peaceful. Never, ever, ever, ever. Never peaceful. And then at the end of it, after the Christmas holidays, I feel so drained. And then when I go back home, I'm like, I don't want to go back. And then I used to repeat the cycle every year until one day I said, I got to stop. This got to stop. This is not going to work. In the name of family, I don't care, because I need my mental health to be there. But anyways, my point is this. I'm going to read your comments and give advice, y'all, because I still have like, I still have a little bit of time. But what I will say is this, like, my best advice would be redefine your expectations. I had a whole study here ready for y'all, but I think I'm gonna go over it next week, because this was a serious topic. I just had to get a lot off my chest. But you need to feel your emotions. If you're in that situation, learn to feel your emotions. What has helped me is to redefine my expectations and to come up with new traditions for me and Dom. It's just the two of us now. Just the two of us, actually. And we're okay with that, you know? We may not have a big family yet, but we're starting our own traditions on our own. And we're making new traditions. And if you don't have a spouse, that's okay. You can do it on your own. You start with you. You're going to start making your own traditions. Instead of having these big, drawn-out family events and feeling left out when other people go out, but you know that those events are not good for your mental health and your well-being, and they trigger you in a negative, they put you in a negative space, and you just stay negative. Like, you don't want that. Trust me, because I'm telling you, after family events, most of the time, like I said, not immediate family, extended family, especially extended family events, I'm drained. Most of the time, I feel negative. I feel worn out, and I said I'm no longer participating in that. So redefine your expectations, come up with new traditions, and try to put yourself in a space where it's like, okay, it's such a, like, holidays are so packed with emotions, because that's usually when family gets together, right? And you have to start moving differently. Again, if you want to, if you're in the same situation that I am, where you really want to break free, this is what you would do. And for those of you who still want to participate, but you know that the dysfunction is there, but you can't quite cut people off, that's okay. Try the gray rock theory, like my sister said. You kind of just answer questions in a short, simple manner. Don't elaborate too much. When people ask you triggering questions, you redirect it and you move on. Because sometimes it's harder. I realize that it's not so easy to go no contact with family, or to ghost family for some people, and I get that. So I understand. And another thing is travel. So me and my sister, we're about to be in Jamaica next week. Just letting y'all know, no live next week, unfortunately. I will be in Jamaica. I will be away. My sister and I decided to go on a little mini trip with, because her and her husband are celebrating their anniversary. So I'm going to tag along with them. And I'm going to do that next week. And then for Christmas, Dom and I are going to spend time together, excuse me, with my mom while she's here. And then she's going to move away soon. And then, yeah, so then it'll just be Dom and I. And we're going to start new traditions. And maybe we'll start traditions with my siblings and stuff like that. But I realized then that I can choose who I want to be around in my family. That's pretty much what it is. From now on, what I do, or from going forward, this is what I do. I just literally, I'm around people who bring me peace, stability, who pour into me positively. And if I don't get any of those things, I'm not going to be around you, family or not. So I realized that circle is really small. And I've included friends in that circle, where friends, I feel like sometimes friends are more family than your family is. And I included y'all in this circle. Y'all have been rocking with me. Like, y'all feel like a family to me, real talk, because I feel like I could be myself around y'all. And, you know, I feel like I can actually, you know, we can actually exchange ideas and learn from each other. So those are my thoughts, y'all. I know it was a long live, but I had to get that out my chest because, you know, holidays coming up, you start to have thoughts and you start to be introspective. And I started to really, like, it's my second Christmas in Canada. And yeah, it's our second Christmas together, Dom and I, in Canada as well. So we're trying to really make things different for us. And let me read your comments. Okay, Tyra, I said I was going to get to you. So I'm going to give you my advice real quick before I hop off. Let's try this. I think you said you had dropped out in 2018. But I really want to read your comment in its entirety. So just bear with me. I'm trying to. Y'all see how, I'm telling you, the hair keeps shrinking. It's okay. I'm gonna put it in a ponytail soon because y'all, it is starting to get humid in here. Hold on. Why is this? I know. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still getting used to this one. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's go to the comments. I'm gonna read them. Tyra, you had a question. Okay, you said, I want to finish my degree eventually. I've been out of school since 2018. I don't know where to start. I want to do one of those English classes in Korea, maybe finish my degree there. Okay, so let's unpack this. You had a degree and you've been out of school, or you want to finish your degree. You've been out of school since 2018 and you want to do English classes in Korea. Finish your degree first. Do not go to Korea without a bachelor's degree. I know some people might give you advice to do otherwise, but I'm giving you advice as a big sis who actually lived in Korea. And also be careful who you get advice from, because most of the time, if they don't look like us, I don't know what race you are, but if it's from okay, I have to be clear. My channel is for everyone, but some of the advice I'm giving is pertaining to Black women only because I'm a Black woman, but it applies to everyone. So if you are a white woman, Tyra, I would still give the same advice. Actually, forget it. I'm gonna give the same advice, whether you're white, Black, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's universal. You need a bachelor's degree to live a comfortable life in Korea. I'm a Black girl. Oh, even better. If you Black, get your degree. If you white, get your degree, but you may be able to slide through. But if you're not Black, girl, if you're not white, even if you're white, I'll be honest with you, it's gonna be hard. I know there's one girl, she went to Korea with a high school education and she was able to get a good job, but she's like she's rare. Most of the time you need an education, y'all. You need a bachelor's degree. So finish your school here, where you are in your country. Do what you need to do. When I went back to school, I didn't even tell y'all hold on, I gotta check my time. Okay, I still have time because I have to be somewhere at 9:30, so I'm gonna leave in like 10 minutes. When I went back to school, I think I had owed my school $2,000, and they wouldn't give me my transcript until I paid that off. So what I ended up doing was I cashed out on my RRSP. RRSP, if you guys don't know, is a registered retirement savings plan. In Canada, there's 2 ways you can cash out of your retirement. So while I was working at one job, I had the idea to start saving for my retirement. I was like in my early 20s, so I had saved up a lot. And then when I left the job, they're like, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep it in a retirement account or do you want to cash it out? So I kept it in my retirement account. I was like, okay, just let it grow. And then I started researching because I didn't have enough money. I couldn't even save $2,000. That's how broke I was, y'all. I couldn't even save $2,000 to get my transcript. So what I did was I got a research, and I found out that my retirement, there's 2 ways you can cash out in Canada. If you're in Canada, listen to this. There's 2 ways or 2 reasons you can cash out on your retirement early. First one is if you buy a home, so you can take the money out early and then repay it after. So you can take it out for a down payment, or you can take it out to go to school. So what I did was I took it out. I did the lifelong learning plan, and then eventually I have to repay it back before retirement. So I took out like $5,000, and then I paid off my school. And then that's how I was able to go back to school. So Tyra, I don't know your financial situation, but what I will say is this, like, try to find programs, especially if you're in America, I don't know which country you're in. If you're in America, though, please try to do it before Mr. Orange Peel gets into office. Mr. Trump, you got to do it before he gets into office. But, I'm sure there'll still be programs out there, but it'll probably just be a little bit harder. But go into your state program, see what they have, kind of relief they have for students, and just try to stack up your money. See if, I don't know your situation, like I said, but try to get the money to go back to school. Finish your degree. Finish your degree. And I know some people are against going into debt to go to school. I actually beg to differ. I don't see it as debt. I see it as an investment. Now, this might be controversial, but there are some of us who don't have rich parents. So it's the only way you could do it, then you're going to have to do it. But you're going to go into responsible debt. So that means that you're not going to get a degree just to get a degree. You're actually going to get a degree that you can use, that's transferable, that can help have you make higher income. That's the key. Because if you just get a degree, that's just a degree, then it's gonna be hard for you to scale up because you're always gonna get those lower tier jobs. But if you want to go back to school, let's start researching what, I don't know what degree you have or what degree you were in. Can you tell me what you were in school for? That would be very important for me to know. But find a career that you can actually scale up and use the skills that are transferable so you can work in different places and industries, or try to specialize as much as possible where it's in demand. That's another key. Sociology. Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Y'all love Romy because Romy keeps it real. Sociology is too broad. Sociology is too broad. Phyllis said investing and taking a loan for school is the best type of loan. Who can? Yep, you can take it. Yep, it is. And I had to learn that the hard way because I was listening to people that were telling me, "Oh, you're wasting your money. You're wasting too much money going back to school." And I realized then that those people were not people I should listen to because I got myself from lower, like higher income. My parents were kind of like almost middle class, but I got myself from that part to almost. I'm middle class for sure. But I'm trying to get myself to the high level. So it gave me a lot of opportunities. Like I have a job where I'm cushy, y'all. I have a cushy job. And I wouldn't have been able to have it without my education. I have a cushy job. I'm not stressed. I work 8 to 4, clock in, clock out. I get a lot of vacation days. People be jealous, y'all. I get flex days. I get every other Friday off. I get sick days. I get a lot of good benefits. Like I live pretty comfortably. However, I do want more. I will explain it in a future live what I'm working on now. But the education has allowed me to do so many different things that I would have never had. I wouldn't been able to do. I wouldn't have been able to move to Korea without my education. So back to it. Oh, Phyllis says I live in Sweden. All the Swedish and foreign studies take loans. They have to. You have to. You must take a loan if you're not rich. If you have parents that can pay off your school, take advantage of it. But if you don't and you're on the same boat as me where I had to get it out the mud, I didn't have that. I had to take out loans and I'm still paying them back. But you just have a game plan and you have to. One thing I regret is that, back to you, Tyra, you said your degree is in sociology. I got a degree in political science. So that's too broad. I've realized now that I should have been more specific. So if you're doing your major in sociology, there's nothing wrong with that if you're really passionate about it. But are you passionate about sociology? Can you write that in the comments? If you're passionate about sociology, I wouldn't go against it. But what I would say is think bigger. So where do you want to work at the end of it? If you're just using it just to get a degree and then to go to another country, I would get something that's more specific or unique. So for example, you said I want to have my own business. Okay, perfect. So if you want to have your own business, you're going to start writing your business plan, start really strategizing how this is going to work and do a mind map and figure out how your sociology degree is going to take you to have your business. Because yes, you do need a degree to get into Korea. And then what I would recommend for you to do is there's only like in Korea, the main job is teaching English, but you got to get your foot in somewhere. So I would always recommend for people, if they just want to learn, teach English in Korea, then get your degree first, apply to go teach English in Korea. I'll make a whole separate video on that. And then if you don't want to work in teaching, it's going to be really difficult to break into other industries because if it depends on your knowledge of Korean. The more Korean you speak, the easier it is. But it's also really hard because the Korean job market's not doing so well right now. So you're kind of pigeonholed into English teaching. But if you just want the experience, go for it. Like I would say teach in Korea, save up your dough, save up your money, stack up, and then have that experience that you want to have abroad. But I will say that they don't pay that well. Wages have been stagnant for years. You're gonna start off probably at 2.1 million to 2.3 million, which is not that much. That's like 2,100 to 2,300 a month. Cost of living, it depends because schools pay for your housing if you're outside of Seoul. So I would recommend living outside of Seoul. And if you want to go back to school in Korea, okay, so what I did was, I'm gonna tell y'all my game plan. This is what I did. I graduated from political science in 2017, so I went back to school. Then I taught English for a year just to have the experience to live in Korea. Saved up some money. And then I paid a little bit down, my student loan down. And then I applied for the Korean government scholarship. So the Korean government scholarship is, if you want to go back to school and get a master's degree, you can apply for it. Now, whether you get in or not is up to you. But what I did was that I applied for it. I had to do like a study purpose or study proposal, and then I had to write a paper, and then I got accepted. So that's another way. Or you can go to school directly. So if you go to like Yonsei or some of those schools that have like the foreign, like I would recommend you go to a university if you want to go the master's degree route after you get your bachelor's. Go to a university that has a lot of foreign students because they have so many scholarships available. So you can even look into Fulbright if you're in America. I don't know. So there's so many different scholarships. Research, y'all. Research is your best friend. That's how I was able to find the Korean government scholarship. I applied to it. I got it. And the Korean government paid for all of my master's degree. I even had a dorm that I paid. They gave us a monthly stipend of like 1,000 won, 1,000,000 won, which is $1,000 a month, which seems like a little bit, but remember, you're living in Korea. My dorm room was like $150. And so I was able to live a pretty comfortable life. It was a little tight, but I was able to live comfortably while I was going to get my master's degree. Other schools may not have the same deal, because I know some people were paying like $500 a month for rent, but you can make it work. There's a lot of people making it work. So try to get as much scholarships as you can. Look for programs where you can go back to school. I would definitely get my bachelor's degree, sis. Don't wait for it. Get it. Get it in 2025. Get it. Get it as soon as possible. Find a way, because I'm telling you, I'm saying this as somebody who found a way to go back. I got another student loan, and then I was able to finish my my bachelor's, and then now I have a master's and I have a project management certificate. So finish your school. It's going to help you, trust me. Finish it, especially if you want to live abroad, because a lot of countries, they don't do like what we do in North America. You can't get by with a high school diploma there. You need a college education, because everybody has one. So what makes you different from a Korean person, right? So it's very competitive in that sense. Phyllis says, okay, I'm reading past comments, by the way. You said, I don't understand why people are always in married couples' business or pressuring them to have kids. Not everyone on this earth wants kids. Are they going to take... Thank you. Are they going to take care of them kids? That's what I really wanted to say. That's what I really wanted to say. Imani, you had said something. Why you retracted your message, friend? Yeah. Oh, you said I'm thinking of switching to business. Yes. Okay, sorry. I thought you said you wanted to start your own business. What I would say is this: if you want to switch to business, because I did mine in international business, it is a really good field to get into because business is broad. However, what I would say is try to make it a little more niched. So you can do like maybe, I'm trying to think of other courses in business. Maybe finance, or like some type of like, I'm trying to think, what's in business? I think you learn it. It's very broad, actually. Business is super broad, but you can do it. You can do maybe international business. That's what I did. Or you can do like certain type, like maybe get an accounting certificate on top of it. I'm learning these days that certifications are key. So what you do is you get your bachelor's degree. That's the main meal. But then you got to get some side dishes to supplement that meal, or else it's not going to be a full meal. That's like you just having meat, but you ain't got no potatoes, no rice, no nothing. So you need the rice. So I count certificates as rice, or, you know, whatever you eat as a side dish, potatoes, I don't know. So you got your BA, that's your main meat, your main dish, but then you need your side dish, which is certificates. I'm noticing now that a lot of people need certification. So you can have your bachelor's as your broad, like your general subject, but then get a certificate to specialize in an area of business so that it makes you stand out. I'm realizing that. That's why I'm going back for my project management certificate, because that really is going to take me to the next level, because certificates kind of show that, one, you're continuing your education because you're never going to stop learning. And two, it just keeps up with the market. Because remember, whatever I learned in political science when I graduated in 2017 is so different from 2024. There's probably theories that just came out. It's evolving all the time. So bachelor's degree, you can't go and get another bachelor's degree. That's crazy. But maybe you can get a certificate in something else. Like, for example, you got your main base in sociology or business, and then you get like a certificate in a certain area, so that way you stand out and you have the most recent industry standard. That's what I'm telling y'all. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning about that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this live. I have to get going. I went off on a tangent, but if you have any more questions, please reach out to me. You guys can always email me. I'm fine. I can answer questions, y'all. Also, I do want to mention that next week there's no live. I will be in Jamaica, man. I'm going to be there, and I can't promise if I'm going to go live or not. Imani David says, sorry, I had said it's just me and my mom. My mom came into town for Thanksgiving. She said that she was going to stop by, but didn't. I think God. Oh, hold on. I think God. Oh, I deleted it. Oh, my bad. No. I deleted your comment by accident. But you said your mom came by, and then what happened with your mom? Did you spend Thanksgiving with her? Hold on. Sorry, cousin. Ah, okay. So you spent Thanksgiving with your cousin. My bad. I had deleted your comment by accident. You might have to write it again, friend. I'm sorry. I'm getting used to this. Hold on. Let me see if I can retrieve the comment. But Imani, I see you and I feel you. Okay. You said my cousin came into town for Thanksgiving. She said she was going to stop by, but she didn't. I thank God that me and my mom got to celebrate with each other. I'm happy for you, Imani. And that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it's just going to be the two of y'all. And sometimes it's just going to be you. Family is what you make it. I'm going to be my own family. And hell, we're going to do like when we were kids. Have the little stuffed animals. If you really feel lonely, you could call up a friend. There are a lot of people, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that are going through this. This is not isolated incident. Next time I come back on live, the week after next, I have research talking about family estrangement during the holiday. There's like, I think they did a study where 90% of the people who are estranged from their family find it hard to go through the holiday season, Christmas, because it triggers so many memories of past memories, especially when you used to spend Christmas with your family when you were a kid, right? So yeah, family is what you make it, man. I think that's the end. That's what I'm going to close out with. Family is what you make it, whether it's you by yourself, whether it's you and your mom, whether it's you and your dad, whether it's you and your cat, whether it's you and your dog, whether it's just you, whether it's you and your siblings. Like, family is what you make it. So, you know, just realize that you always are loved, even if it's just yourself. Love yourself. I'm telling you. When you love yourself enough, it won't matter who's around you, because you'll be happy to spend time by yourself. And I'll have some tips about that. You got to learn how to be okay by yourself or in a small group, because some people are so used to having that ginormous group of people and always around people. And sometimes you got to spend time on your own, even during the holidays, and be in solitude. And there's nothing wrong with that. So with that being said, I hope today's live was very good. I done spilled a lot of tea, but I think it'll benefit a lot of people. And if people in my family are mad, well, then so be mad. I don't care. Anyways, love you guys. I will see you guys not next week. Remember, I'm going to be away next week, so please don't come messaging me talking about, oh, I didn't see the live this week, y'all. I'm not going to be here. I'll be here the week after, so close to Christmas time. And then hopefully I will have some really good news to share with you guys about my trip. And I'll also post some vlogs as well while I'm over there. I'm gonna try to vlog this weekend because I gotta put up my Christmas tree, but we'll see. I usually try to go with how I feel. I don't try to just give any type of vlog. I want to make sure it's it's a good vlog, right? I don't know. I'll figure that out. But anyways, I'll be away next week, so hopefully you guys have a great week ahead. Start preparing for your holidays. I would love to hear the plans when I come back, and I will talk to y'all soon. Love you guys. Bye. How do I do this? Okay, I'm such an old lady. All right, now, final. Bye.